They are the Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
The eyes of the world are on us. The Dallas Cowboys, success or failure are ever in the spotlight, in victory and defeat. Each team is a chapter in the story of this franchise. As the pages turn, how will your story be written? Sometimes your darkest moments become a shadow on the road to your legacy. How will we rise to the occasion? There are hundreds of critics, but only one author. We write our destiny. We don't know how we will be remembered, but we do know we're ready for battle, ready to finish this fight.
Getting closer. Do you guys like the videos?
Made me feel kind of queasy, to be honest with you. Like a lot of, just a nice little reminder of what's at stake.
Another reminder is not even being able to move in locker room because it's so full of national media.
A lot of media.
All up in here. Cover 4, Dave, Tay, and Jesse. David, I know you're going to start us off strong today. I can just feel it right now.
Well, honestly, thanks to Tex Kennedy, because the video plays right into it. Dak Prescott today, not mincing any words, asked, what role does postseason success play in a quarterback's legacy? He said it's everything. Nobody cares about anything but wins and losses. That's where your money is made as a QB. I appreciate you not hiding from that fact, Dak. Now go back it up.
Guys, 2019 is already off to a strong start for Mr. Blake Jarwin. Yes, he got the NFC honors this week, but guys, did you know he was a walk-on at Oklahoma State, undrafted to the Cowboys, and now making history, doing things that Jason Witten didn't do, and Billy Joe Dupree was the last one to score 3 touchdowns. Pretty impressive. Future's bright.
I found an interesting stat about Dak Prescott. Coming into year 3 for him, ending year 3 for him, he has over 30 touchdowns, and only 25 interceptions in those 3 seasons. He's only the 3rd person in NFL history to have a stat like that coming into this year. So, future's bright for Dak Prescott, but it starts in the playoffs.
It's so bright for all of us.
Always.
It is so bright. We need shades. Let's go down memory lane and revisit week 3, shall we? Because, yes, the Seahawks are a very different team, but so are the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just go over some of these differences. What's it going to look like on Saturday night, Jess?
Well, the one thing that they don't have is Earl Thomas. This is a guy who wreaked havoc against the Cowboys. 2 interceptions. It was all the trade talk. Should we get Earl Thomas? Should we not get Earl Thomas? He came and played a wonderful game, stood at the sideline. He will not be there, broke his leg in the midseason. So that's a good thing. And he was kind of the eyes and ears of the backside of that defense for the Seahawks.
You're thinking ahead,
I know. So for them not having Earl Thomas today, this weekend, will help the Cowboys a lot.
All right. It's Earl Thomas. That seems like an eternity ago.
It does.
That we were talking about all of that.
I don't even remember. No. Like, if you told me this is where we would be in January after that game, no, thank you. Which, Tay, brilliant segue, by the way. Blake Jarwin, 3 touchdowns the other day. Remember what he did in Seattle? He was targeted 1 time. Oof. It clanged off his hands and into Earl Thomas's hands. Like, that was his impact in that game. That was really Blake Jarwin's impact in the first 2 months of this season. No offense, guy. 79 yards heading into the final month of the season. To say he has come on strong it would be a massive understatement. And I'm excited to see not just Jarwin, throw some love to Dalton Schultz too, what these young tight ends can add to this offense in this game.
I kind of feel like I have a cop-out almost, like it's the easiest one to talk about. The defense is completely different. Allowed 24 points back in week 3. But the big thing was, guys, they were still that old defense in years past. You know, the ones that had back-breaking plays where we said they're a bend-don't-break defense. Yes. That happened in Seattle. That does not happen anymore. We don't see those huge chunk plays. So this defense has come into its own, and they are the 5th-ranked rushing defense against this huge just rushing power that Seattle has apparently now. So that's going to be a good matchup.
Chris Carson,
Yeah, Chris Carson.
First game.
Chris Carson, you can sit down because I'm going to tell you about Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh,
you guys know him. Yes, Ezekiel Elliott, I would take you any day over Chris Carson. Yes, his week 3 performance was not strong. Granted, he did have 16 carries and 127 yards on the day. he is the league's leading rusher. So since week 3, this offense has gone running, and it's gone running because of that man right there. 21 has done his thing this year. He's having one of his best seasons yet. I think everything he said in locker room yesterday just echoes what I think he will be able to do this weekend. He said, I'm feeling refreshed. He sat out in week 17 so that he could be ready to have his heaviest workload yet, and that comes at an average of 25 touches per game this year.
I bet he'll be motivated with the turnovers against Seattle last time,
man.
too.
Yeah, yeah, that
Right those wrongs. Yeah.
Sitting out a week does wonders for a guy's legs. So I hear. Okay, we went down memory lane. We talked about what happened last time, but now let's talk about a little scouting report. Got your number. Seattle has changed a lot, so we need to refresh you guys.
Yeah, you need to know that Tyler Lockett might be the under-the-radar weapon that they have, but yes, he is a big, deep threat for the guys. Perfect passing rusher, or perfect passer rating for Russell Wilson when he's targeting this guy. So just block him, slow him down, because you do not need any big plays in this playoff game, and Tyler Lockett would be the guy to do that. So just end that for him, Lindsay. I hope the defense is up to the task now, ready to end it.
Not only is Russell Wilson's passer rating perfect, you say with Tyler Lockett, it's the best he's had in his 7-year career. Also the most touchdowns he's had in his 7-year career with 35. And the reason he's been able to flourish, guys, we all know what he can do on his feet and when he's moving, and he makes things happen down the field with his arm. But now that they have that running game, Russell Wilson has become a different beast. It's his 7th season, and it's his best one yet by far. I mean, he's setting records for himself. So when I dug into that a little bit, though, that's kind of scary, because in years past, I would have said Russell Wilson's a scary guy.
Fewest number of turnovers in the league.
Yes, there also that.
Something to note.
Also that. Okay, got your number. Next up, we have the good old Bobby Wagner. What is there to be said about this guy?
This is a staple in this Seattle defense. He was kind of like the lasting member of that Legion of Boom. Bobby Wagner is hands down, without a doubt, the leader, the heart and soul of this defense. He doesn't get many sacks, but he's a sure tackler. He gets everyone lined up. He is the heart and soul of this defense. So if the Cowboys plan on having any rushing game this week with Zeke Elliott, this is the guy that you have to go and block. You have to find him down after down after down. He is relentless. He is athletic. He is strong. He can wreak havoc on an offense. Bobby Wagner is, like I said before, one of the last founding members of the Legion of Boom. And if you don't find him, he will find you.
Going back to Earl Thomas and Bobby Wagner, too, you're right. We've talked so much about the Legion of Boom, rediscovering that. These veterans are gone. Sherman's not there. Chancellor's not there. I get it. They've got some good young players, too, and none more so than Frank Clark.
Yep.
Straight up, I honestly, if you watch this show, you know how I feel about DeMarcus Lawrence. I think he is an underrated player. Frank Clark might be the most not talked about great defensive player in the league. 14 sacks this year. One of my lasting memories from the first Seahawks game was just him ripping around Tyron Smith with ease. It was terrifying. And I worry that that is a problem that's going to continue into the playoffs. You got to do something with these guys. You know, and Bennett's not there. Avril's not there. I get that. Frank Clark is a beast, and you got to account for him.
Beast mode. Quick break from the studio. When we come back, yes, Chris Richard, he just got here from Seattle, but sounds like people are calling his cell phone. We're going to talk about that in a sec.
Hang up.
Hang up. Yeah.
Hey Dallas Cowboys fans, I'm Danny Surek at the AT&T Media Center. Tight end Blake Jarwin has been named the NFC's Offensive Player of the Week. Jarwin is the first tight end in Cowboys history to receive the award. He had 3 touchdowns in last week's game against the Giants, which is one short of how many touchdowns he had in his career at Oklahoma State. Coming up, the Cover 4 crew will discuss which Cowboy this game is most important for in terms of their future with the franchise.
How will history define us?
The perfect size?
Perfect hair? Every box checked?
No, we set the tone.
We are works of art.
Who we are is not defined by what they say, but by what we create.
The legacy we build.
Fire in our souls.
We are strong.
We are unstoppable.
We
are Cowboys fans.
Okay, so you started at corner and then they moved you to safety. Now they're going to move you back to corner. Why do you like the idea of moving back there?
Wherever they need me to put me in, I'm going to go play. And that's just the way it is.
Some of us like to move in silence. Because it's not about the bright lights. It's about the work you put in when they aren't shining. Yeah. You say jump, I say how high. New moves. New position. New coaches. New teammates. Same message.
Beats on these videos.
Okay, ran into Byron as I'm walking into locker room. He's going to the gym. He had no idea this video was out. Showed him on the cell phone, and he was all about it.
Okay.
He was so hyped. That's my favorite thing is like fans get mad at us and are like, why are we making all these videos? Focus on football. They don't even know we make these. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even know what's going on.
True.
I had to show him, and he liked it. So, booyah, take that. Okay, around the league, just a little fire there. Really quick, though, speaking of fire, there's been a few guys fired from these teams, and I hear that some of them are calling our boy Chris Richard. What do you guys think the reality of him leaving this year is? Pretty low, right?
I heard less than 50% from you guys.
You said 30 or you said 40%,
40.
30. Yeah, I'll be interested. So, Jason, you know, coaches are not allowed to interview prior to their wild card games. Chris could do an interview as early as Sunday. Heard the Jets and the Dolphins are interested in his services. I would not be surprised. I have talked to Chris Richard. Obviously, the fans know about Chris Richard. He is a compelling guy. That's the word I want to use.
Very, very many layers.
If he gets into a room with a team and pitches them and is prepared for it, which I'm sure he would be, I would not be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either. And you look at the teams that are after him, the Jets, the Dolphins. The Jets in particular, they have a really good defense. They have a lot of key components to that defense. So for a guy who will be coming in as a head coach with a defensive mindset, he has a lot of pieces to play with. So he wouldn't have to go out and reconstruct the entire defense. He has a lot of pieces already there in place. And then Miami, it is South Beach. Nothing against Dallas. I love living in the DFW. But South Beach, it's South Beach. And if you're going to be the head coach in South Beach, that's a compelling situation.
I will say this is NFL teams don't make their coordinator contracts public. Rod Marinelli probably doesn't have long for his coaching career. I would imagine he's closer to the end than the beginning. That's common sense. The Cowboys could make a compelling monetary argument for Chris Richard to stay right where he is.
Great usage of words there.
Will McClay, Taylor, what an excellent point. Will McClay knows exactly what that's about. And if the Cowboys are bound and determined, obviously, if he gets an opportunity to be a head coach, that is a compelling reason to leave. But the Cowboys have a lot of ways to keep him interested in staying.
I like you guys' conversation in this. Can we move on to sound off and keep it up? Yeah. Great. You're doing great today.
Thanks, Coach.
My question for you is, we've been talking all year, it seems, guys, game by game around the star here is, well, what does this mean for the head coach? What does this mean for the reputation? What does this mean for Dak Prescott? There's already money talks, contract talks, so who is this game more important for this wild card weekend? Taylor, you seem pretty strongly opinionated about it.
I'm ready to go there, and I gotta say, yes, both of them, it matters a lot. Yes, the head coach, you always want to have those playoff wins under your belt. But Dak Prescott, you need this win. You need to show everybody that even though the ups and the downs of this season, when it comes time to have the games that matter, you are there as the quarterback. Guys, he said it today in the locker room. He said your legacy really is determined by your playoff wins and, of course, championships. So it starts this Saturday. Get that win. Show everybody that you are the quarterback of this team. And for the future, you've got an extension on the line that really matters. So show them that you need that money.
You agree with her, right?
I do. I do. It's on Dak Prescott to go out there and win this game. People, have their thoughts about Dak Prescott, and the only way you eliminate those negative thoughts about you is if you go out and you perform in the playoffs and you take this team to places it's never been before. And that's the key thing about the Cowboys. If you can get them to a place that they haven't been in over 23 years, you're going to really set the world on fire.
See, I agree with everything y'all are saying. Obviously, I led the show with Dak's quote about wins in the playoffs. I get it. It is important, and it can determine your legacy. Ask Tony Romo. At the same time, Dak's under contract for another year. You got the franchise tag there. We make a big deal. 14 fourth-quarter comebacks in his first 3 years. He's got all these stats that quarterbacks his age don't have. I think the Joneses are really impressed with what he has shown. Jason Garrett, in a longer tenure, has one more playoff win than Dak Prescott does. And playing devil's advocate, I certainly think the Cowboys have a great chance to win this game. What if they don't? What if they actually really perform poorly? What type of taste does that leave in the mouths heading into next season?
I don't want to hear on Sunday if they don't.
A win for Jason Garrett. He doesn't have to get to the Super Bowl, but just reminding people that he can win a playoff game would be huge for him, in my opinion. Even more so than
against a team that has kind of become their recent rival.
Yeah, I mean, they have not had an answer for the Seahawks since that big win in 2014.
You're right.
If they no-show in this game, which I don't think they will, but if they do, it's going to be a dicey conversation around here, and it's going to linger.
This was extremely compelling.
I'm just saying.
Both sides of it are very interesting.
We'll have it all for you on that Monday, though, right?
Oh, hey.
We'll have an answer to our question.
Yeah, we'll definitely will.
We will have our answers, Jess. Give us an answer on OT.
All right, here you go. Chris Richard, we talked about him all show long. He has options, to go interview for some coaching jobs, but he is one of the orchestrators of the Legion of Boom in Seattle, and now one of the orchestrators of the Hot Boys here in Dallas. I just love the fact that this guy, wherever he goes, he's able to build and make names for himself and for the team that he's around. I just hope and wish and pray that Chris Richard, you make this place your home. You don't leave, you don't go. Whether it be Legion of Boom or the Hot Boys, Chris Richard, we want you here in the DFW.
Very good cry for help. Stay here. Well, guys, we know it is a white out this weekend, and we'll be rocking our white, but they want all of the fans to be wearing white. And I know it's important to be loud, because if Rod Marinelli is telling people to be loud, you must listen to the man. He says that the defense gets fired up, they get going, so get out there, be loud, and make him proud.
We here on Cover 4 are big fans of Amari Cooper's approach. That's fair, right, Lynn?
Sure.
He's a very literal guy.
Yeah.
You got to ask him just the right question to get the answer that you want. So I had to laugh today. Somebody asked, how have you seen Dak Prescott manifest himself as a winner? Like, why is Dak a winner? Amari simply said, I've seen him win. Like, what do you want from me? And I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Amari Cooper is a Dave kind of guy.
Yeah.
Be dry.
Yes.
And you're happy.
You can't give everything away at once. And I appreciate that about him.
We appreciate it. Shouts out to Coop. Okay, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We have John Boyle from the Seahawks joining us behind enemy lines. It's going to be really good. See you guys then.
Ooh.